From WNDU, your breaking news and weather authority, this is News Center 16 at 6.
The Warsaw City Council is set to meet at 7 o'clock this evening despite the recent death of four-term Representative Charlie Smith. Good evening, I'm Maureen McFadden.
And I'm Terry McFadden. Smith was the pilot of a private plane that crashed in South Carolina last Friday. Mark Peterson joins us in the studio. Mark, that crash killed Smith and 3 passengers.
It was called today a tragedy ×4 for the entire Warsaw area community. And autopsy results released today in South Carolina show all these men died from injuries that were consistent with a plane crash, blunt force trauma to the chest and neck.
Friday's plane crash in South Carolina hit very close to home for the mayor of Warsaw.
Charlie was my next door neighbor, and every time I think of Charlie, I laugh.
The pilot was four-term city councilman Charlie Smith. Today at noon, with Charlie's nameplate missing and his chair empty, the City Redevelopment Commission met as scheduled.
He would have been appalled that we would have canceled the meeting. You know, he would have wanted us to move ahead without him.
After all, Smith's longtime commitment to public service came with a careful accounting for every single minute.
I've never seen a more active, retired individual in my life. That's how meticulous Charlie was. You know, it's not, I'm going to be over at 1:10. You know, I'll be over at 1:12.
Which is why visitation for Charlie and his son Scott began this afternoon at 1:59.
Charlie was just an incredible character, very passionate and hard driving.
Coach Smith, at this time, I officially induct you in the Triton Athletic Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Last year, Smith became Hall of Fame material. For the 4 years he spent in the 70s coaching the Triton High School football team, he chalked his success up to a strong family support system.
A couple people not with me tonight, my late mother. And the unique thing about my mother is I coached a total of 121 games as a head football coach. She attended 121 games.
Of course, Smith, the former football coach, a big football fan, regularly attended Notre Dame games and was on his way to the Clemson game when all this happened.
Yeah, and when will the funeral be held?
Actually, a memorial service is on tap for tomorrow. Again, starts at 9:59 instead of 10 to reflect that meticulous nature of his.
All right, Mark, thanks a lot.
The man who threatened mass murder at the Lerner Theater has been charged. In a statement today, police say Thomas Townsend was charged with intimidation, a level 6 felony, on September 17th. They say Townsend left a message on the theater's answering machine making the threat in the early morning hours of August 30th. Caller ID led police to Townsend. They say he was disruptive and threatening at a concert the night before. Officers working the concert found him to be intoxicated and escorted him to the lobby. He then left in a cab. The cab driver told police Townsend seemed upset over being kicked out of the theater. Townsend is also charged with public intoxication. A Michigan man will spend the rest of his life in prison for the murder of his mother. News Center 16's Joel Porter was in court today as Monty Menifee was sentenced. So Joel, do prosecutors know why this happened?
Well, Maureen, investigators say that Menifee likely couldn't handle the stress of caring for his mother, LaVon Mont, along with having several of his family members under one roof in a former office building in Coloma, which he converted into an apartment. Menifee, meanwhile, had struggled to find work and was facing eviction. Menifee told the judge what he did was a mercy killing. However, in describing the murder, prosecutors say it was a brutal act. They say Menifee hit his mother with a meat tenderizer, then tried to suffocate her. When that failed, they say he stabbed her in the neck. Police found Monta's body in the Coloma apartment. Menifee then stole her credit card and several vehicles as he fled to Ohio, where he was later arrested.
When she wasn't deceased at that point, he then tried to suffocate her because of an interruption by his dogs. He then takes a knife and stabs it through her neck.
This is not an act of that happened at the spur of the moment. It was deliberate, it was premeditated, it was brutal.
None of Menifee's family were in the courtroom today to give victim statements.
Okay, so do we know yet where Menifee will serve out his sentence?
Maureen, Berrien County Assistant Prosecutor Courtney O'Malley tells me that decision is up to Michigan Department of Corrections.
Okay.
Menifee has spent the last 4 or 5 months in the Berrien County Jail. Now he'll likely be transferred to one of the state's larger prisons.
And for the rest of his life?
Yep.
Okay, thanks a lot, Joel.
5 days later, and the search continues for the driver who hit a pedestrian in Middlebury and fled the scene. Now police have a clearer description of the suspect's vehicle. Police say they're looking for a van chassis with a box on it, very similar and possibly a converted ambulance. It's light in color and possibly has square lights on the front of the box. There may also be damage to the right front fender and the right side view mirror. Now, police add this is a type of van commonly used for construction. Anyone that sees the vehicle matching this description is asked to contact the Elkhart County Police Department immediately. Cloudy day, but we're in for a warm-up. Here's Cindi.
Thanks, Terry. Yeah, we will be seeing temperatures warming up, but it all depends on the clouds as we get into tomorrow. Take a look at Elkhart. We are seeing the sunshine now. It has warmed up to 68 degrees, but as you head a little further to the west in Michigan City, it has been cloudy and even foggy all day long. And this is the scene there, and it's only 55 degrees there. You can really pick that out when you take a look at the picture at the temperatures across the area. Mid-50s, just kind of very dreary near the lakeshore with the fog, but it warms up nicely to around 70 with plenty of sunshine over towards Warsaw and Rochester. And you can see on the satellite radar composite, those clouds have been thinning out from the southeast to the northwest. And I think they'll continue to do that this evening, but probably come right back into play in the overnight hours. So if you're heading out this evening, temperatures, depending on where you are, but temperatures should be in the lower 60s, especially right around South Bend, a little warmer in our southeastern areas. We'll take a look at the rest of your Storm Team 16 forecast in just a few minutes. Terry.
Cindi, thank you. The South Shore platform has a new look. It was introduced today at a ribbon cutting ceremony. News Center 16's Kofo Lasaki watched the first passengers offload on the new platform. And how was that, Kofo?
It was more like a ribbon tearing ceremony. There were no scissors involved, but there was a new platform to show for it. The cost of the new platform totaled $197,000 and was funded by the South Bend Airport Authority. At 12:15, train number 7 pulled into the station, opening a new boarding platform to the public. It's made out of composite material, and the project was completed in about 7 weeks. Some people were surprised. They really had no idea they were the first passengers to walk on the new platform.
I think it's very perfect just for my life, honestly. Like, hey, you just got off the train and you went through a ribbon. I didn't even know until somebody told me. I see it right there, so it happens.
As we told you last week, service could be suspended at the end of the year if Congress doesn't extend the deadline for trains to install automatic pilot systems. But officials I spoke to today are optimistic about Congress giving them more time.
Okay, and what was wrong with the old platform?
The platform, it was 23 years old, and that was worn down, and it was really a safety issue for the public.
Okay, all right, Kofo, thanks a lot.
Just in time for National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Pocky's Playbook is hosting its Pink Out Zumba session. The event is free to the community. So far tonight, about 1,000 people have shown up to dance. Participants are in the middle of their class right now. News Center 16's Casey Cronus is live at Notre Dame Stadium. So Casey, how's the dancing looking?
Maureen, the class is about halfway through and everyone is doing such a great job out here. I'd like to jump in there myself. Everyone's in pink to support breast cancer awareness. Pocky Kelly is also here participating and interacting with attendees. When Pocky Kelly welcomed the crowd today, she received a huge round of applause. This event was a hit last year, and by the looks of this year's turnout, has gotten even more popular. This is one event in Pocky's Playbook series. Timed to coincide with Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it aims to educate people in our community. This event also places an emphasis on overall health and wellness. That includes strengthening the mind, body, and spirit so every individual can thrive. This event hits close to home for the Kelly family. Pocky is a breast cancer survivor herself.
It's a blessing to see kids that I knew the first time I went through, and the second time when they say to somebody, "Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Kelly, she lost her hair, that she'll be fine." And that is really, because that was one of really my struggles when my son got it, when I was the first time I got it, and he'd go to school and they'd say something and he wasn't sure how to cope with that. But it's educating people of all ages, and you know, kids can be good reminders to parents too, to make sure they go to the doctor as well.
This event is only in its second year, but Pocky says that as long as they get crowds like this, it's here to stay. They had such a great turnout last year, an even better one this year, and hopefully they'll see some new faces next year.
Yeah, Casey, it looks like everyone's having a blast and getting a good workout in too. Is there anything else people can do this month to get involved?
There are still a couple more Pocky's Playbook events coming up this month. That includes the pink painting party and tennis and tapas. Both of those are happening in the next 2 weeks. So if you'd like to get involved, we'll put information on how to register on WNDU.com. Just click this story. Back to you, Mo.
All right, Casey, thanks a lot for that update. Well, more to come. A chilly weekend, but are things about to change? Cindi has her Storm Team 16 forecast after the break. Plus, flu season is upon us, so you know what that means. Time to get your annual flu shot where you can go. Ahead.
You're watching WNDU, your breaking news and weather authority. News Center 16 at 6. Tracking inconvenient weather where you live. Storm Team 16 is your weather authority.
We're taking a live look over the Notre Dame campus. There's the stadium, and you can see the new construction that is going on. And we still have the clouds in Southland. I think maybe some sun trying to peek through, but it's been having a rough time doing that today. And that's kept the temperatures down. 61 degrees, the current temperature. Relative humidity is at 83% with winds out of the north at 3 miles per hour. Around the region, again, we vary quite a bit from northwest near Lake Michigan, where we've been dealing with clouds and fog all day long. Mid-50s to around 60 there, but it's into the lower 70s in our southeastern areas that have had some nice sunshine this afternoon. 16 Doppler max coming up clean, nothing going on out there, and the satellite radar composite will show that we do see those clouds sort of breaking up and sort of thinning from southeast to northwest, and I think that will continue as we head into the evening hours, but I do expect to see more clouds coming into play in the overnight. So here's what Future Track is showing, and it does show sort of thinner clouds this evening, but watch as they come right back into play, and patchy fog is possible as well as we head into the overnight hours and as we're heading out the door tomorrow morning. We'll start with clouds, but we do expect clearing later in the day, so we'll see some more sunshine there. Temperatures probably still remaining in the 60s for most of us, though. A weak cold front comes through on Wednesday, but notice there's no moisture with it, maybe just a few clouds there. As we get into Thursday, though, that's when we'll see our next chance for rain. There'll be a system approaching from the west, and that will give us a chance for rain starting later Thursday afternoon, but especially for Thursday night. Here's a look at your Storm Team 16 forecast. Heading through tonight, mostly cloudy skies are expected. Some patchy fog as we head out the door. Temperatures getting down into the low to mid 50s. For tomorrow, we do expect to see those clouds to start the day and some patchy fog. And we'll probably see some sunshine by the time we get to dinner time. 68 degrees for your high temperature. On Wednesday, we'll add a few degrees to that because we do expect to see a little bit more sunshine on Wednesday, at least partly cloudy skies, 71 for your high. Back to a yellow day on Thursday because of the rain that's coming later in the day, but we'll get up to 75 before that rain starts, and then it'll cool down behind that front on that comes through on Thursday, because on Friday we'll be seeing temperatures back to around 60 degrees for a high. That'll be short-lived. We'll be back into this around 70 degrees by the end of the weekend.
Okay, thanks a lot, Cindi. Well, heave ho and get that truck to go. How pulling a big rig helped Michiana students Saturday.
That's right. Plus, it's officially flu season, so before you catch a cold, now's the time to get vaccinated. All about the latest drive-through clinic next.
Hoosier health officials are asking you to get your flu shot. State Health Commissioner Jerome Adams says at best, the flu makes people miserable. At worst, it can be deadly. Influenza or the flu is a viral infection of the respiratory tract and is spread by respiratory droplets from infected people or contact with contaminated surfaces or objects. St. Joseph County will hold another drive-through flu vaccine clinic this week to make it easier for you. It's fast and convenient because you don't have to leave your car. The cost is $30 for adults, payable by cash or Medicare Part B only. The clinic will be held tomorrow from 3 to 6 p.m. at Clay Fire Territory. They're located on Cleveland Road in South Bend. Only adult vaccines are available at this clinic, but you can get kids their shots at either St. Joseph County Health Department location.
Well, over the weekend, South Bend schools celebrated their annual truck pull. Imagine a tug of war, but with semis. Easy enough. The fundraiser helps South Bend schools fund math, reading, and character education programs. They wouldn't be able to afford them on their own. About 35 businesses throughout the area, along with kids, parents, and community members, took part. The competition was fierce but friendly. At the end of the day, 8 awards were given out. Coquillard PC brought in the most donations, while Washington High School was awarded with the fastest school at the poll. But the school with most spirit, well, that went to Rise Up Academy.
Four Winds Field is the place to be this Wednesday night. The park is opening their doors to fans so folks can enjoy the National League wild card game. The game, Chicago Cubs versus Pittsburgh Pirates. Gates open at 7 p.m. with free admission and parking. Fans will get to enjoy some of the game day amenities of Four Winds Field, like the South Bend Cubs Performance Center, the Tiki Hut, and the Fun Zone. And according to Cindy's forecast, Wednesday will be a great night to enjoy the outdoors.
Well, Chuck Freeby's fired up about the Cubs, but I don't think that's what he's ranting about tonight.
The WHME sports director does have something stuck in his craw today, and he may just have another old man rant when he joins us next for sports.
Old Guy Rant may be later, but Old Guy Radio recalls the Maureen McGovern, not Maureen McFadden, Maureen McGovern song, There's Got to Be a Morning After. For the Irish and their fans, the hangover is just about gone. It comes after Notre Dame's first loss on a failed two-point conversion since the 2007 Navy game. Yes, the Irish made a great fourth-quarter comeback from 18 points down in a hostile atmosphere, but no one in the Notre Dame camp feels real good about what went down in the eye of the storm Saturday night, especially Brian Kelly.
We're not here for moral victories. You know, we're too far along in our program. We got to come down here and we have to beat Clemson. And you can't beat Clemson turning the ball over 4 times and starting tentative on defense. No room for moral victories. Disappointed. And what I said more than anything else, I was disappointed for them.
And there's no time for a pity party because the midshipmen of Navy come marching in Saturday. Navy's 4-0. They boast one of the top scoring quarterbacks in college football history in Keegan Reynolds. You can see how dangerous he is on the option from last Saturday's win over Air Force. Folks, it should be a good one Saturday at the stadium. WNDU is your home for Notre Dame football this weekend. Starts at 7 a.m. with News Center 16 Saturday morning. At 2, Brian Kelly recaps the loss at Clemson on Inside Notre Dame Football. At 2:30, is it Yvonne DiCarlo? Someone named DiCarlo joins me for Countdown to Kickoff. Then at about 3:40, it's the Irish and the midshipmen for the 89th time. Cancel the postgame show. We got NASCAR afterwards. Rare happy Monday in Chicago today, and not just because the White Sox season is over. In fact, both the Bears and Colts had quarterback stories and last-second kicks to win. Jay Cutler back in the Bears lineup, a pair of touchdown passes to spark that moribund offense. Robbie Gould was good as gold with the 49-yard game winner. Chicago got its first win of the year, 22-20, over Oakland. In Indy, these aren't Colts, but old warhorses. 40-year-old Matt Hasselbeck starting for the injured Andrew Luck, hit Kobe Fleener. And then 42-year-old Adam Vinatieri, like Sally O'Malley, he can stretch and he can kick, and he gets the game winner as the Colts beat Jacksonville in overtime. 16-13. 2 firings in pro sports today. The Miami Dolphins at least brought Joe Philbin home from that debacle in London yesterday and then canned him. He was 24-28 in this his 4th season. And Matt Williams gets fired by the Washington Nationals. Williams was the National League Manager of the Year last year, but this year he supervised one of baseball's biggest disappointments. In fact, he was asked by one of his players last month, just when did you lose this team? And the Twitter logo is the Bluebird of Happiness, but I sure didn't see a whole lot of happiness on Twitter Saturday. Texas was getting shelled by TCU 37-0 at halftime when Longhorns defensive back Chris Boyd retweeted a transfer request from Texas A&M. Hey, Chris, seeing how the secondary is getting shredded right here, I'm not sure that's the best idea. But you know what? He's a kid, and kids make mistakes. What about adults? Cardale Jones has never lost, and he took Ohio State to a national title last year. He tweeted out, shout out to them Bucks 5-0, and was greeted with tweets of, you garbage, and no thanks to you. And even sometimes supposed professionals get caught up in it. Irish safety Max Redfield took a bad angle of pursuing Deshaun Watson on this play Saturday night, and yours truly tweeted, Max Redfield in the very bad angle, new children's book. Upon further review, here's a kid out there trying in conditions that forced Jim Cantori inside. I'm anchored to my couch like Jabba the Hutt, asking Carrie Fisher for more guacamole. maybe it's good to remember Max is doing his best and to keep my fingers out of the guac. So throw the flag on me and let's learn 2 lessons. Think before you tweet.
Yep.
And more building up of people instead of tearing them down. That's old man rant. You kids can have your ball back. Just keep it out of Mrs. Freeby's azaleas.
Always enjoyable, Chuck. Thanks a lot. Well, coming up, a fight caught on surveillance cameras making waves online, but it's a fight you probably haven't seen before.
And this isn't the one that got Matt Williams fired.
No.
No. Watch what happens when a pint-sized pup has to defend her home. The story next. Well, a family in California has their 20-pound French bulldog to thank for ridding their house of intruders.
On Friday, 2 bears wandered onto the property when the family guard dog Jules confronted them. Apparently being outnumbered didn't faze her as she quickly went after the bears and scared them off the property. One bear even fleeing over a fence to escape the canine dynamo.
Jeez.
That is a little dog. Wow.
Baxter remembered dealing with those people.
I'm probably like, that thing is crazy. Get it away from me.
They say it's not the size of the dog in the fight, right?
There you go. Well, as we head through tonight, we'll call it mostly cloudy skies because I think it'll be kind of variable. Patchy fog possibility as we head out the door again in the morning. Lows in the low to mid 50s, and we'll start off with clouds, have a few peaks of sunshine later in the day, highs in the upper 60s.
Okay, thanks for joining us.
We'll see you at 11.